This clip is brought to you by Mark Bell Slingshot. This gear is made for lifters by lifters. Enjoy this clip. And one thing that you kind of notice is like, I see a lot of coaches when they get triggered over the decreased risk of injury thing.
Yeah, wrong conversation.
It's within strength sports.
Yeah.
That, like, you know, when we're talking about people in the population, you want people to be able to have that range of motion. But why do you guys think that lifters need to maybe think about this, even as they're within their sport of powerlifting? Olympic lifters tend to have better range, but like within these sports,
to have better range. Excuse me.
They do. Okay, yeah, they do. They do. But like,
God, man.
But why should these athletes start concentrating on this now? Because it seems to be something that you realize you need it in the future, but not right now within your sport.
One of our friends, mutual friends, Laura Phelps. Right, great powerlifter. She was a gymnast, level 9 gymnast. Ooh. Really good gymnast as a kid. And she came in and started getting strong. And she could access these crazy positions, and she was super strong. And then she actually told me, she's like, you know what, I didn't do anything because my shapes were so good. I didn't have to work on it. And all of a sudden, they went away because she got super stiff. And they went away, and it started to change how she was lifting under high load. And subsequently, she was having some pain. And that's and Mark was like, hey, can you talk to my friend Laura? And I was like, happily. And we jumped on the phone, gave her a couple ideas. Boom, she set a world record. I think one of the things is when we tell people these shapes matter, they matter under specific conditions. And those conditions, the only conditions I give a crap about are high load and high speed. Because you can do a lot very load. In fact, a lot of the physical therapists love to point to powerlifters and rounded backs and just, and I'm like, look, ready to be triggered, everybody? Squatting is a low power movement. It's low power. High force, low power. Yeah. And you can get away with murder at low power until you can't. Until that foot is turned out, you can't squat down, you get pinned in a weird position.
Yeah, Andrew, see if you can, I sent you a video of Chad Ikes. Do you have that video?
I do now.
So people have seen me do my fall, and we can maybe bring that one up too. But here's a difference of having great mobility versus not having great mobility. This is Chad Ikes. I want to say, I don't remember the weight that this was, but
it looks like a lot.
Chad started to push like 1,200 pounds. I think he finished his powerlifting career with a 1221 squat. Very strong guy. And he was known for being like really mobile. I don't know if have you ever met Chad? Have you ever seen him before? Yeah, he worked a lot on his mobility, but he falls with this weight here.
Ooh.
And you know what happened to him after that?
Nothing. He got up and did it again.
Yeah, nothing. He didn't finish the meet because he did get his stomach got stretched. Yeah, his stomach. He was like, I feel something weird.
I don't know if you know this, but that's what happens when you bail with 1,200 pounds on your back. It's a dynamic mobility tool.
Yeah, exactly.
You only have to do one
little stretch.
Yeah. He's like, I felt a little something in my stomach. Anyway, he came back and he squatted 1221, which I think was a record at the time. And here's what happened to me when I fell with my weight. And I saw the next one. That was 1,036 or something like that.
Easy weight.
And then this is 1,085. And this wrecked me for months. Maybe it's a different meat.
No, this is not the one.
Oh, that might
definitely the meat though.
Yeah.
Oh, what the? Oh no, you might have found something. You might have found something different.
Oh, my bad.
What we see is we can make that the physiology starts to become very clear at high speed. And I think we can say to people, you can get away with a lot under low speed. But the physiology, the body organizing itself, these patterns really start to aggregate. Franz Bosch is one of my favorite coaches. There's a couple great books out. Anatomy of Agility is his last book. But in there, he has a quote. He says, there's more variation in waltzing than there is in sprinting. At low load and artistic, you can do a lot and get away with a lot. You can walk however you want. But when it's time to go fast and add the speed component, those shapes don't often transfer or take force or generate force from those less effective positions. And so ultimately, what we can start to have a conversation about reasonably is this shape gives me more choice. This shape transfers to new skills.
Yeah, if you back that up just for a second there, Andrew.
Oh, yeah.
This shape allows me to generate more power.
And here's my fall. So somebody that's not mobile. I got, it's slightly different circumstances, but we fell similarly, right?
Yeah.
And I was wrecked for months and months and months on end.
But look at your thigh gap, though. It's really impressive.
So, somebody having more mobility, I know sometimes people are like, well, I don't want more mobility because all I want to be able to do is just the actual drill. But I mean, you and I were communicating at this time, and we were talking about it. And I was doing some stuff to try to address some of those things.
And this is a really good point, because this is an accident, right? This is trauma,
right?
And what we're trying to do is say, hey, I was having this conversation around dorsiflexion with a world-class sprints coach named Stuart McMillan, who at the time was coaching Andre DeGrasse, who's the Olympic gold medalist. He was the heir apparent to Usain Bolt, and he was like, hey man, my sprinters only need 0 degrees of dorsiflexion. When they hit the ground, I want them to have 0. I want them to be stiff at 90 degrees, so their ankles at 90. And I was like, totally agree with you. He's like, everyone's obsessed with dorsiflexion. I'm like, totally agree with you. I was like, does your athlete go down the stairs? He's like, well, yes. And I was like, we need more than that. So how does he solve that problem? He starts turning the foot out, starts bringing his knee in, starts collapsing his arch. Does he squat? Does he train for his sport? And he was like, well, yeah, I guess he does. And I was like, so you need dorsiflexion to do enough training. So how much dorsiflexion do you need? You need enough where you can solve the problem in a way that transfers and where you don't start competing with the primary movement pattern. So if you're turning your feet out to solve this problem, that's a less effective way to run. You might hit the ground with your foot straight and the foot might spin and da-da-da, right? Dave Weck, I'm not trying to trigger you. But the idea is if you do a triple jump, you're going to land with the foot pretty straight in that peak impulse. And when we see kind of force production, we're going to start to see that there's less of this and feet start to get straighter into this range because those positions transfer more effectively under speed. So again, what's nice is instead of saying, don't do that, you might get injured, we say do this because it'll allow you to pick up new skills more effectively and it transfers to other movements and maybe it protects you because you had enough hip flexion and rotation.
Power Project family, we appreciate you checking out this clip. Check out another one. Just go check out another one. Or comment down below and let us know what you liked about this one. But we love you guys and we're going to keep bringing you the heat. So comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, okay? Peace.